Hey, what's up guys? Today I am here with an end of the year top 10 best in beauty roundup. Originally, I had sat down and filmed like a beauty favorites of 2016, but there were like too many products and like too much rambling in it. And when I sat down to edit the footage, I was like, no, I have to pare this down and like really like chisel this down to the top 10 things that I started using in 2016 that I cannot live without. Because what is the point of a best of the year if it's just like a conglomeration of all my favorites from the whole year and it doesn't really mean something, you know what I mean? I personally think the value in these end of the year videos is that they are like ultimate favorites in the sense that like, all right, these might have been favorites for a month or two, but like I've been using them for a whole year and they are still my favorites. Like that's a big deal because especially if you're a beauty blogger or something, you use new products all the time. So if something sticks around for a whole year, you know the shit's good. So I really sat down and wrote down a list and I limited myself to 10 things so that I know it's something that I've been using for the majority of the year and also something that I have been using almost on a daily basis since I got it, because I think that really says something about a product. So with that being said, that's the criteria for this list and let's get started with number one. First item on the list is the Dark Side Liner from Anastasia Beverly Hills. The reason I like the idea of it was because it was a gel pencil, which I guess a lot of pencils are considered gel pencils, but they really were touting the idea that it was like a gel liner in the form of a pencil. I find that gel liners stick the best in your waterline out of any type of eyeliner, but they're kind of a pain in the ass to do because I don't like to stick a brush in my waterline. I don't know about you, but I'm not a fan of that process. So if I can have the staying power of a proper gel liner in a gel pencil, I thought, oh, that would be fucking fantastic. Well, it is fantastic. This is one of the only waterline black liners that I find does not bleed on the outer corner of my eyes. I have extremely sensitive watery eyes. They water the second I go outside in the wind. It's a nightmare. With this, I do not ever see any running. I could water all day long and then it's still there. And another thing I've noticed with this, I can actually tightline and not put a dark color on the bottom waterline and it doesn't transfer from the top to the bottom, which is really rare. A nude color in the waterline and the dark color through the tight line and they stay separate and it doesn't mess up that brightening bottom effect. And I absolutely love that because most of the time it transfers and then it ruins it and you're like, oh, I just want a tight line and also have a brightened up nude waterline. Why can't I have this? Well, now you can. The second makeup item is the TARDIS Pro Palette. You guys may have noticed that I use this in damn near every tutorial I've done in the last few months. Whether or not I do the whole tutorial with it, I always wind up going back to this palette because it has such a good assortment of matte shades and all of the shades are also really good quality. Really a ton of different undertones in here and various depths of color. I think it's a really usable palette. I bring it with me when I travel because I know that I'll have everything that I need in it. I also really like the shimmer shades as well. They are called duochrome shades. I would not say that they are a strong duochrome. They do have a little bit of a color shift in them, but they're mostly just a nice shimmer shadow. But each one of them is like super usable. Even the shade that's like kind of like a pop of color shade is like a very usable pop of color shade. I think that most people would get use out of it. I really like using them both wet and dry, and like obviously like you guys have seen, I use the shit out of this. I never put it down. I would buy it again. I think it's one of the best palettes that came out this year by far. The second palette that stole my heart this year is not going to be a surprise to you guys either. This is the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. This palette has a lot of warm pinkish tones in it, but it also has a lot of great more yellow tone shades and some even taupey, like, ooh, there's a hair on it. Get out of here. Some even more like taupey neutral shades in it. And the color Primavera, which you could see here probably that I already hit pan on, is one of my favorite inner corner highlight shades that I have ever owned. And I have owned a lot, my friend. Overall, I think the quality of this palette is impeccable. I personally really gravitate toward these types of colors just in life. and also in my makeup. I think they're very flattering. I think they're actually flattering on most people, and a lot of people are very afraid to use pink and red tones on their eyes, but if you use them right, then they can look really beautiful. When you first pick it up and look at it, you would definitely, your eyes go right to the more red shades. If you cover those up, it's actually a pretty standard neutral palette that's just extremely nice quality with some really, really nice pops of highlight and shimmer. Next item up is an eye product again, but I use it all over the damn place. This is the Urban Decay Heavy Metal Glitter Liner, specifically in the color Midnight Cowboy. All of the shades of this are incredible. This is just the one that I wind up reaching for all the time because it's kind of a gold, but it also has a little silver tone to it. So it really winds up working with a lot of different looks because it can kind of go either way. It's like a neutral metallic kind of, you know? But the reason I love this so much is it gives you a really intense shiny glitter without any mess. Like there's no mess whatsoever, and it's also one step because it's basically glitter glue with glitter already in it. So you just wipe it on where you want it and it just dries down and stays there the whole day. Personally, I usually cannot be bothered to do like glitter base over my eyeshadow and then glitter and then the whole thing. I just never wind up doing it, and then the removal process is a fucking nightmare. With this, you don't deal with any of that, and it's actually pretty easy to take off. I really cannot recommend this enough if you do not like using regular glitter, but you want a pop of glitter in some of your makeup looks. They have lots of different shades. The shade range could totally be extended. Like, don't get me wrong, like they could use a few more colors, but like most of the things that you need on a regular basis are available. And I also use this on my lips all the time, as you guys have probably seen in a few of my lip tutorials. It works great on your lips too. You can even put it all over your face and be like a shimmering angel. I can't, and I also can't believe how much of this is still left considering how often I use it. So I think this one is definitely a worthwhile purchase. Next item is a skin product. This I actually only have a miniature size of. This is the Cover FX Custom Enhancer Drops in the color, I think this is Moonlight. This is one of the only highlighters that I've ever found that works really well on my pale skin to give me like a really blinding highlight without looking chalky and without emphasizing my pores. It's more of one of those wet look highlighters, which makes sense because it's a liquid, so it sits on the skin a little bit differently than a powder would. But I have been using it pretty much nonstop since I got this one, and the good news is that it lasts for a really long time. It does not list the ounceage on here, but I can't imagine that it's more than like a 1/4 ounce, and I think the full bottles are like 1 1/4 ounces. This has been on my vanity, and I've used it every single day for probably 2 months now, and it is still about halfway full. It's going to last you a long time, my friends. So you know, if you do try this product, this particular formula dries down, so it goes on liquid and then it sets, which is fantastic because it stays on all day, but you need to know that before you put it on, because I made the mistake once or twice of dabbing it on my cheek and then not blending it out right away with a sponge, and it looked insane because there were just spots where it had dried down more and they wouldn't blend out, and it was literally like little like bright traffic lights on my face, and I had to start over. What I like to do is take out like 2 drops, put them on the back of my hand, quickly pick them up on my beauty blender, and then dab it on where I want to. And then if I'm feeling extra sassy and I want like more shine, like right in the center, I'll pick up the remainder of what's on my hand with my finger and pounce that over the top. I find that that works perfectly. Literally the shiniest highlight for pale girls ever without looking super chalky and gross, and it also stays on all day long. This will still be on tonight when I take my makeup off, I guarantee it. Next, we have a lip product. Another one that will be no surprise to you guys because I've used it in a ton of tutorials already. This is the Bite Beauty Agave Lip Mask. This is the Champagne shade, which is my favorite shade from them, but I also have the clear one, and I love that too. Essentially, these are like a thick, glossy lip balm that goes on in like the thickest formula I have ever felt in my life. It's almost hard when you squeeze it out of the tube. It's extremely moisturizing and it's not sticky on the lips at all. I like to put it over a lip liner and like have that be my lip color, and it looks so plump and so juicy and awesome, but it also keeps your lips super hydrated and soft the whole day, so it's really great for winter. I also really like it for like vacations and stuff, so if I want something that's like a little more low maintenance. I use this combination with this for my Thanksgiving tutorial because it wears off very evenly when you are eating things a lot, stuff like that. Doesn't really look crazy the way a liquid lipstick would. And the champagne shade, it's like a very pale pink with a little bit of gold shimmer in it, and it like looks really, really plump and beautiful on like pretty much everyone's lips. It's not enough shimmer that if you have a deeper skin tone, it'll look ashy, so I think it'll work on pretty much everyone. And it smells beautiful, and Bites products are all food grade, which is really, really cool, so you know you don't have anything weird going into your mouth. And again, this is another product that is like so long lasting. Like I've had this tube, I brought this on vacation with me in May, and I use this all the time and it's still almost full. So like it's really, 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 really one of those things where a little goes a long way. So if you're looking for a great balm that you could put over some lip liner and it looks like you're wearing makeup and not like a lip balm or a treatment, this is the shit. Next up, I have the House of Lashes Dark Lash Glue. I've been using the House of Lashes lash glue for like a little over a year now, and once I actually started using that glue, I feel like it changed my whole eyelash game. So I have a very mild latex allergy, so when I find a lash glue that is latex free that works really well, I'm like super excited because I used to use the Duo latex free one and I do not like it. It does not stay on that well. To be honest with you, regular Duo does not stay on that well either, and that one makes my eyes itchy and uncomfortable, so there's that. But the House of Lashes glue is like, it's almost too good. Like you put it on and sometimes it feels like you might rip your whole eyelid off when you rip it off. I know, that sounds a little frightening. It's really only if you go like extra crazy with it, to be honest. Most of the time it's completely fine. And you could always just use a little bit more makeup remover to help get it off if you need to. But specifically, I'm really loving the dark one, because normally I don't ever reach for dark lash glue. I was kind of afraid of it. I always felt like it would be a little bit messy. I would always use a clear lash glue and then go over the top of it with like a black eyeshadow to make sure that it blended properly. But yeah, with this one, it works just as well as the clear, and I don't really have to worry about it blending so much because the black dries, so it blends in with my eyeliner much better. And I don't know why I haven't tried it before. So I'm really glad that I did try this. It is now my go-to lash glue. I keep the mini one in my lash case and I keep this one on my vanity, and it is the only lash glue that I have been using for quite some time now. Moving on to some skincare stuff. The next item I have is the Pixi Glow Tonic. I was definitely in the anti-toner camp for a long time. I didn't think they did anything. And then I saw that Caroline Hirons was using this and that she really recommended it. So I started reading about what toner actually does. And apparently, toner will balance the pH of your skin and make all of the rest of your skincare work better. Who knew? I picked this one up at Target and I started using it. And by the time I got about halfway through my first bottle, I started noticing that my skin looked so much better. Like everything is so much smoother now than it was for a long time. And I think that's a combination of the pH balancing effects of it making my other skincare work better, like my retinol and all that. I also think that perhaps it could have to do with the glycolic acid that's present in this particular toner. I think that my skin responds very well to chemical exfoliation. This is a very, very gentle chemical exfoliant. It helps keep your pores clear. It definitely makes everything smooth. It helps to not get like skin built up over the top between physical exfoliations. This is like my third bottle now, and I can't go without it. If I skip this, I feel like my rest of my skincare was pointless. So highly recommend this, and it's really affordable. I think it's 15 bucks for this little bottle, which as far as skincare is concerned, that's really cheap, and you can get it at Target, which is really convenient. The only thing is it smells a little funky. Like it smells like, it has like a little bit of an old lady perfume smell to it. I don't think it is fragranced. I think it's just whatever's in there that smells that way. Not my favorite smell in the world, but it doesn't stick on your skin, so no big deal. Okay, next, another skincare item. This is the Too Cool for School Egg Cream Hydration Mask. Egg cream sounds so disgusting. I will give you that. And honestly, I never would have tried anything from the egg cream line, except that I got a deluxe sample of the egg cream body butter, and it blew my freaking mind. Like, it was the best body butter I have ever used, and as a matter of fact, I still have the intention of buying a full-size one, but it's been out of stock for like forever. But it inspired me to try the other egg cream products, and this mask is one of my favorite masks that I have ever used. It's a sheet mask, so it makes you look like a creep, but like, I kind of enjoy looking like a creep sometimes. I have like 3 sheet masks that I particularly love. This one is one of them. One of the other ones is the When 10 p.m. sheet mask. That one would have made the cut, except that it's always sold out, so I do not want to recommend it to you guys and say, oh my god, you have to go get this, because it's sold out all the damn time. So this one is one of my favorites. It's extremely hydrating, it's extremely soothing, and I also feel like it's very firming, which as I get older, I am appreciating firming products more and more because, you know, want to keep everything tight. I like to put this on maybe once a week, maybe every 2 weeks, depending on what other masks I have going on in my rotation. But this one is one of the most soothing that I have, so I highly recommend it for most skin types, because I don't think that there's anyone that couldn't use some soothing. Like, even if you have acne, I think that you want your skin to be soothed, you know? Yeah, it's just one of those things though where I put it on and I feel like it actually makes a difference in my skin. It's not just for show, it's not just for funsies, it's not just for pampering. It actually has like a lot of actual skincare benefits. So if you see this, don't be afraid of the egg cream name. It's super good and you should give it a try. And the last item is something I've already talked about in a favorites video, but I had to bring it up again because I love it that much, is my exfoliating cloth. I talked about this one time a few months ago in a favorites video. It is still one of my favorites. But I wanted to mention it again because I have noticed that they've actually become more popular now, and you can find them readily in like drugstores and stuff. This is like the original brand that came out with it. I believe the name is Salux, but there are other ones on the market now that are easier to find that are exactly the same thing as this. I have seen them for sale at Bed Bath & Beyond for sure. They have pink ones there and they also have purple ones. They are not the same company, but I have tried them and I've had friends try them and they work exactly the same. Basically, if you didn't see my last video, it's a big long cloth. It looks like it would do nothing. It's a little crunchy, but when you put your body wash on it and get it wet and scrub your body down with it, it makes you feel like a soft, amazing baby. And the fantastic thing about using a cloth for exfoliation rather than a scrub is A, it's not messy, and B, you could use whatever body wash you like and you know does well with your skin, and it basically turns it into an exfoliating scrub. The other nice thing is that it's super long, so you could throw it over your back and get your back and your butt and all of that very easily. It's also antimicrobial, so it doesn't really get funky in the shower, but if you do feel like you need to wash it, you could also throw it in the washing machine. They last quite a while. They are very affordable. I have turned all of my friends onto them, even the guys, and they fucking love it. My husband uses it. I use it every single day. The only time I skip it is if I have fake tanner on, because it is such an intense exfoliation that it'll take my tanner right off. But when I'm pale like I am now in my natural pastiness, I use it literally every single day. The person who originally turned me onto this is one of my favorite people on the internet. Her name is Nur. Her internet name is NurberXO. You've probably seen her. You're probably subscribed to her on YouTube, but if you're not, you should go subscribe because she doesn't put videos out all the time. But when she does, her recommendations are the best recommendations, like literally hands down on like the whole internet. Every single thing that she's ever recommended to me has been top notch. She's a lovely, lovely human being as well. But yeah, ever since she talked about these on Snapchat, I have not put them down. One of my favorites for the year by far. I know it's weird that it's a cloth is my favorite thing ever, but like, trust me, if you try it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. Those are the products that have stuck with me for most of 2016, things that have changed my daily routine for the better, things that I have used for an extended period of time and I can say are my favorites for the whole entire year. Thank you guys for watching. I hope that you have a beautiful start to 2017. I hope that you try some of these products and they wind up in your 2017 favorites, and I will see you in my next makeup tutorial. Bye.